We are going live here. We are live with Megan. Coming to us live from Puerto Rico.
Puerto Rico.
I'm over here in Colorado, not as exotic, but still fun. And we're going to turn that down in a second. Still pretty awesome. Amazing sunsets for sure. Tons of nature. But we're going to talk about you. And we know each other over a decade, almost, just about. Yep. Back in New York City, we overlapped in Fifth Ave, which I have the shirt on here. I
represent
Delta Fifth. And then you managed to come and quality control me in Dubai, I guess, whatever we want to talk about that whole thing. But yeah, we had our overlap in New York City and Dubai. Yep. And then you went back to, you went to Vegas and then back to Miami, and now you're in Puerto Rico with all the lambs and lions and witches and wardrobes and whatever
wild
else
animals everywhere.
Wild animals.
The birds are actually kind of quiet right now, but I was actually doing some video this morning, exercise stuff, and like they are just had to mute the sound because they're like.
So if you guys can't tell, Meg is, as her shirt says, heavily caffeinated, just full of energy at all times. So yeah, we want to dive in a little bit on that. Of obviously been in the fitness space. That's where we overlapped. And believe it or not, guys, she is 72 years old. This woman right here, 72. Looks good. Looks good for 72.
Lots of coconut oil.
There you go. That's the trick. So yeah, let's talk about energy, fitness, and again, now mom life. You got a little one, and just what we call being an older athlete. So yeah, tell us, dive into that. We talked about it a little bit before, and we've again known each other for a long time. And again, I'll just say real quick, always a pleasure for me to get to chat with lovely folks like you, and this is where I love doing this kind of show podcast. It gives me an excuse to catch up with folks that maybe we're like, oh yeah, we'll talk in a month or a year or never again. So yeah, hopefully we can do more of these. But yeah, catch us up.
Whew, yeah, that's a lot. Yeah, yeah. So living in Puerto Rico now, with my 3.5-year-old son. Life is a lot different here on all aspects, on being a mom, fitness, just everyday life. Dialing in, going back from the hardcore Fifth Ave days, training all the time, like competing, all that stuff, and then just kind of evolving with my fitness, from competitor life to just learning to just move and be healthy every day. I mean, I love fitness at the root of my core. I have a background with sports and exercise science and all kinds of stuff. So fitness my whole life, but the evolution of it to where it's come today, as an older athlete and a mom, and I like to say island life because it's pretty funny. You do get here and things are a lot slower, everything, a lot slower pace. First couple months here, I couldn't find equipment, so I'm like training on the beach. Couldn't find like a CrossFit style gym that I love, and so just like evolving and using what was around me, recruiting people to work outs with me. So of course I ended up doing boot camps so I could get people to play with me, and and that's turned into like Saturday workout with all the ladies on the beach, and from that to clients, and didn't pick up clients when I first got here because I was like, this was a transition kind of test run with the 6 months of let's test it out and see how we like it, and if not, we'll go back, which we kind of like to do wherever we go. But now I've picked up a good bit of clients, enough to balance the mom life and the work life. But fitness definitely looks a lot different. It's just, maintaining, getting in that high intensity in the strength building, always wanting to feel strong, but just the importance of moving every day. And, movement definitely comes in different aspects when you're here. I've picked up surfing at the age of 41, which is which is fun. It's very challenging, and as you know, I like to try to just muscle my way through things. So can't do that with surfing. And
No.
so it's a totally different, just really going with the flow and having to feel and wait and be patient and be present and not being good right when you first get out there. So it's been fun. Down to, just getting out and being more active with hiking and hitting the beach every day and playing with the 3.5-year-old. And one great thing about Puerto Rico is we have mountains here, which we didn't have in Miami. So get definitely a little bit of the hiking in along with the beach fitness. I started with my little boot camp group, just kind of giving out daily challenges, because everybody's like, oh, I'm busy, or I can't work out, or I don't have gym. So, I was just kind of like, all right, well, we just got to move, like, all right, get up and let's do 100 squats a day, even if it's, all right, every hour you do 10, and break it up. And so we kind of gotten to where every day I'll send out just a little challenge, and everybody's in the group pushing each other and motivating each other, and really, really highlighting the importance of moving. Doesn't have to, exercise doesn't have to be like you have to go to the gym or you have to do a class, which was something that I had to evolve from. Of, all right, I have to set foot in the gym to get a workout. And even moving here, it was like by myself, not having the class, because I kind of honestly got in a lazier kind of mindset of just showing up at the gym and doing a CrossFit class and having somebody tell me what to do and push me, like, and then I come down here and it's like, okay, time to work out. What are you gonna do? I'm like, I gotta find a workout and I gotta motivate myself. So, it's like it did become like, okay, let's get those workouts in once I found like gym access and other ways to work out. But then also just like, all right, well, cool, you go play on the beach with your son and you throw some sprints in there and you throw some squats and maybe some push-ups, or you do some burpees, or you're on the playground and every time, like he goes down the slide, you go do 5 pull-ups, just silly things like that. But it adds up. So every day, just moving.
That's it. I say get 1% better every day, and every little one of those things definitely adds up. I give a lot of folks those. Even if I'm working with someone on rehabbing their biceps tendon, I try to include at least once a week where I'm like, let's build these habits. Oh, I don't know what you got going on over there with crazy noises. Is that?
We are at the end of the runway of a small airport. So we get, actually, I don't even think that was, that might have been just a different airport. We get Coast Guard coming through here because we have the Coast Guard base. And then there's a smaller airport on the side of the island. There's not a lot of flights, but we're at the end of it. So a couple times a day, you'll get the
all good.
Yeah.
But yeah, definitely something I like to talk about. Every hour on the hour, do 3, I'm over here, those on the video, I have the wall behind me and I'm just stretching as it goes. So all these little bits add up. And yeah, if it's just do 10 squats every hour, like you said, it's anything that can get us those vitamins and minerals into our joints, and it's going to add up. It's, it's the piggy bank kind of theory, right? Of putting a little bit away every time you can. You get little, 17 cents of change from whatever, throw it in that piggy bank. After a year, you now have like $170 or whatever, right?
Yeah.
It adds up, and it's important stuff. And again, compounding interest, and also the momentum part too. So you're talking about, when you got there, you had to kind of overcome this new challenge of finding that momentum and motivation. So I guess my question to you is where's that motivation come from, and what advice would you give to folks, especially let's talk about that target demographic of women in their 40s who either are, mom life, or whatever it is. So yeah, is there any one? I know there's, and I even have the tendency of saying, what's the magic bullet, Meg? What's the magic bullet?
Look good naked. No, I'm just kidding.
There you go. Yeah.
that actually used to be one I was actually laughing with one of my friends not too long ago about my motivation for fitness. And I was saying, like, as a competitor, I've definitely lost my edge, because one of the driving factors when I was younger was like, all right, I got to prove myself and I got to show everybody how strong I am, fast I am, and like, prove my self-worth by what a great athlete I am. And then it became like, all right, let's just look good naked. And then like, now I'm just like, all right, I just want to stay healthy, like not have any ailments, be able to run with my son and keep up with them and still have energy and climb things. And, I was with them at a friend's house and they had a big trampoline and we were jumping all over it and then climbing on the trees. Exactly. So it's, for me, the motivation is just staying healthy and injury free as we get older, because that seems to happen. But yeah, like as a mother, you are the one constantly taking care of everybody in the family, and if you're injured or hurt or sick or like then you can't really do that. So you have a lot of people relying on you, and I mean, that's number one motivation, is like, I got to be able to support and help out and pick my kid up and do things with them. But, also I gotta live as long as I can. I did start, get into motherhood a little later in life. So I may look like the grandparents at graduation, but, as long as I keep moving and working out and eating healthy, then hopefully I'll still look as young and feel as young as some of those other parents.
Yeah. And that's the thing I've shifted a lot of my work to is that physical retirement plan of saying like, yeah, where do you want to be when you're 65? Like, and a lot of folks, and that evolution you just described is a perfect example. And again, some people aren't at that third stage yet of like, I just want to be healthy. I want to be able to run with my kid or my grandkid, in 20, 30 years or whatever it is. So it's very cool. I like that. I like the way that you phrase that of, it's such a common situation or common mindset. And I've been having to help people kind of get to that next stage. I think that's been my mission, and continuing to refine and it's meeting people where they are is a big thing in the fitness industry, but also that balance of, hey, this might be good for you. Like, eat your broccoli. And it's tough, but yeah. So speaking of broccoli, one of the other things you wanted to talk about is this kind of sustainability model, and you're on pretty much a farm behind you, right?
Yeah.
More or less. So
we're actually out in a more rural part of Puerto Rico. A lot of people, when they think of Puerto Rico, they think of San Juan, which is awesome, but it is like big city. This is like such a smaller town that when I drive my son to school, some days I have to like wait for the chickens to cross the road so I don't hit them, or like the other day a cow got out with a baby cow and they're just like walking down the road and I'm like, okay. Yes. So moving here has definitely been like a getting less complex of life, like a you can do the crazy big word for me there. But just like simplifying life. And I didn't realize how much I craved that until we moved here, and definitely an adjustment. But I really think like cities like New York and Miami and Dubai like did me in, where it's like, city, and like that crazy energy, which is exciting and fun, but now that I am older and I have a child, I'm appreciating the slower pace of life, and I never grew up in the country, so this is really fun to have like the small town. Like, my husband lost his wallet 2 weeks ago in the ocean. We thought it was gone. Nobody used the card, so we're just like, all right, I guess it's gone forever. Well, today somebody posted in a Facebook group, like a local Facebook group, and I had like 4 people message me, like friends and then people on Facebook, and then our mail lady pulled up and was like, habla español, and she was like, your wallet, it's at the restaurante. Had all the cards in it, all of the cash in it. It was like, it's amazing, like the little small town. I'm like, man, if that happened in like Miami, it's gone. Your cards are like, we kept checking every day, like nobody used the card. So he was like, lost in the ocean. But yeah, like the simplicity here is great, and I'm really appreciating like having all the access to like fresh fruits and local food, and it really brings you back to that, like, okay, where does everything come from? It's funny, I finished reading that book, Food Rules, like one of it is like, where does your food come from? Imagine it in the, the raw state, in its natural state. And just driving around, like even on our property that we have here, we have like 3 banana trees and 2 avocado trees and mango, and there's some other fruit that I don't even know what it is. And then I went to the mountains with another friend on his property, and like he's like feeding us, here, try this leaf, try this fruit, try this. And I was like, it's amazing that we have all that access to here and are able to see, okay, here's where the fruit comes from. And it makes it easier to go organic and to go, like closer to nature. And actually food here is pretty expensive, like the importation of it. So the more you can find the local food, the better. I mean, that was the biggest thing. We would go to the grocery store and I'm like, oh my gosh, did I just go to Whole Foods? Like, what is this? But so we actually started growing some food. I'm trying with that, which I've never done in my life. Maybe like a little bean plant that you do in school when you're little.
Right.
But started from like seeds, germinating them, and had some. Our last place we were at, we had just a local patio, so grew them into little seed pods. And then now I've got like some vertical gardens out back, and we're researching aquaponics because it was pretty exciting when I'm like, oh my God, I have lettuce that we can actually eat. Like, we've got watermelons that are getting pretty big. I had to tell Lennox, our son, not to pick off the tomatoes that are still green, because he was like, look, Mom, tomato. I'm like, no, it's not ready. But that's exciting stuff. We're also building a chicken coop because you can just have chickens free roaming here. And then, they're, like I said, sometimes you'll see them just crossing the road. Try not to hit them. But fresh eggs are amazing. Since we moved here, there's a farmer's market like every weekend. So going up there and getting the fresh eggs and lots of, fresh produce and local honey and all that good stuff. But going through COVID and seeing the shortages that you could get, like, toilet paper and whatever, like, kind of eye-opening, like, we kind of depend on a lot. How sustainable are we really? And then coming here, like hurricanes, and power goes down, the infrastructure here is not like on the mainland. We actually moved into our house here, and one of the power things went out, and we had it was like a power generator went out, and we didn't have power for a week because it was holiday weekend, and then transition of a new power company into the island, and workers were on strike. So it really was like, oh, okay, let's see how this thing works out, and like, can we really survive? And it's an eye opener of like, my neighbors yesterday were just like, hey, hurricane season's coming, make sure you stock up on canned goods and water. And it's like, so we're kind of excited to have the opportunity to learn to be more sustainable and not have to depend on the system, like, because you may not always be able to depend on, especially in these kind of situations. So learning new stuff. Farmer Meg.
I love you sharing that. And there's obviously the kind of coolness of doing it yourself, but also for me, we just moved to Colorado, is finding those farms and the farmers markets like you're talking about, and getting to know the farmer and getting to know like how they actually treat the animals. Again, because a lot of folks talk about sustainability, but also carbon negative, carbon neutral, even carbon positive. So now we're talking about farms that are actually improving the environment, where again, sometimes you hear this rhetoric or political whatever around meat, and it becomes, if people actually do it right, and it's not feedlot farming, it's actually good for the environment. And again, this is what we need to put our money behind. And on a grand scale, I think the good takeaway there, and a good reminder for me and for anyone listening, would hopefully be, vote with your dollars, right? Like you're saying, like, it's expensive to keep supporting that. Like, let's keep shipping in the pineapples from Hawaii or whatever.
We grow them here.
You grow them there. There you go. Or I picked a random example, but obviously, whatever, the Hormel's chili or whatever. But whatever it is, it's vote with your dollars. And And the other part too, again, coming back to that theme of health and wellness, is you're already inherently doing healthier stuff by going that route. And you're getting rid of, we talked about the book Food Rules, which I try to, recommend to anyone I work with. If you know where your food came from, you can pronounce the ingredients of banana. That's the ingredients. There's no other ingredients. There's less processing and all that good stuff. Then we're already doing better for our bodies. We're going to be looking better into our 40s, 50s, 60s, etc. I love that concept, and just figuring out how we can continue to spread that message of, again, knowing your farmer's name or becoming the farmer and doing what you can there. I will use that excuse that we are living in like a 2-bedroom apartment here in the middle of Colorado, that it's hard to grow our own stuff, but our community does have a little farmer or a little garden that you can kind of rent per season or whatever, and grow whatever you want there. So they awesome. They are supporting that. And then, we found a few nice farms. We go get duck eggs and regular eggs and mix it all up. And just it's better quality. It's going to be better than what you get at Costco. And I do love Costco, but and the price is right usually. But and Costco, again, to their credit, does a pretty good job, I would say, considering what they are, of having, gluten-free stuff or grass-fed and finished stuff, all that kind of stuff, and understanding the food supply chain. But at the same time, there's a lot of wrong with the Costcos and the Amazons, and we can go down that path. But anywho's it's. I think a lot of folks that were in any of our shared classes between New York and Dubai would still call you, and that's what we're going to come back to, Miss Positivity, if you will, right? And just that positive energy in general of like, let's go. And again, for those want to look up, it was Michael and Kelly was the show you did, right? Yeah. In New York City, she was on Kelly Ripa and Michael Strahan, took them through a workout, kicked their butts, and
that was fun.
Yeah, and that kind of fun stuff of again, that fitness industry. How's it feeding? I would want to get your thoughts, again, stepping out, being in this more like, I'm just going to do whatever's here on the beach. Like, it's great to have equipment. It's great to be reliant on showing up for a class. But at the same time, my question for you is, seeing that, and now if you had the choice, would you still go back to, just like, hey, I wanted to show up and not have to think, or now that you kind of have a system in place, if you will, of this is more fun?
I actually found a CrossFit gym down the street from me in the new place we moved, and I started going to classes there. And I love the hybrid, because for me, I definitely, like I said, I've always loved weightlifting and feeling strong and feeling empowered. And also the community. For me, that's been my number one thing, is working out with people, and that's my love language, is quality time. So if we get to work out and feel good and push each other, then I'm in. So I'm actually doing a hybrid. So Saturdays I'll do my boot camp with my ladies, and then I'm going to that gym 3 to 4 times a week. And then we have some equipment that I've acquired off of Facebook and wherever I can find it, clasificados, so that I can get Brian into working out,
Right.
Because couples that work out together stay together.
There you go.
Yeah, but it's fun. One of my buddies came into town the other day, and we were on the beach. He came to the beach and he was like, all right, I'm going to drink, but before we drink, we got to get a workout. And I'm like, okay. So we're looking around, and there's a table. I found a rock. We found a palm tree. So we're doing sled pulls with Linux on the palm tree, leaf, and then rock slams to burpees, and so you can totally get it in anywhere, and quick little burner, earn your calories, and then still have fun, have a little balance.
Love it. Yeah, that hybrid is definitely a great way to go. And using your fitness, we used to say that, being in the CrossFit space, it's great to be in here, whatever, 5 days a week, whether you're competing for, training to compete, or you're just trying to get that long-term vision of, how can I use my fitness? So, now you're put yourself in that situation where, you're just throwing stuff around, and then, gardening does require some physical capacity. And then again, being a mom, requires, I would say, my understanding is it requires a lot of physical capacity.
Hey, I'm getting pretty mean with a machete out here, having a clear land. That was a good workout. And I've never had to mow a lawn because I've lived in apartments my pretty much whole life, so like had to mow lawns, weed whack, all that good stuff. So it's pretty funny. I was one of my buddies that we visit in the mountains. Him and I have been doing like some virtual workout challenges because he has a little equipment there. But yesterday he was just like, listen, I can't do that. I'll hit it tomorrow. I was clearing land. I was doing this, and like my hands are all fried from the grip strength. Like so.
That
so it really
farm boy
is
strong.
Yes. Like it really is that like functional. I was like functional fitness. You got your workout in. You're good.
Yeah.
So,
like awesome.
So.
Very cool. Well, yeah, I think we covered on some very fun stuff, and I want to be respectful of you enjoying nature out there and not taking up too much of this digital time. And yeah, hopefully folks got something out of that. And again, that whole concept of being a mom in your 40s and just, being an older athlete and avoiding injuries other than using that horse cream that you used to use. Is there any other secret you would give, again, lessons you've learned about that big concept of avoiding injuries to kind of lead off on? Or
I mean, number one, which has always been there, is listen to your body. Like you feel something a little too tight or you feel some pain creeping in, definitely put a pause, which is easier not being a competitive athlete. So I'm like, all right, it's fine. Like mobility is definitely something I've always had to work on, but it's a little more forced. I don't use horse cream, although my neighbor gave me Vaca de something. I don't know. It's like cow cream, and it is like smells like icy hot, but it's like they use it for cows. But I kind of go to the old the arnica. Got more into the natural homeopathic as much as I can, because apparently that has healing properties in it too. So try like my little hippie roots, like we talked about before, and even more so, just try to keep it all natural. I actually think those my little hippie roots got more exacerbated once I got pregnant, because then it becomes not like just what are you putting on your body and your skin and your body for you, but like what goes to your baby, that kind of opened up my eyes to a lot wider scope of things. So
yeah, definitely. That sounds like a whole nother conversation for a whole nother day. But so thank you for sharing those tips and tricks for staying healthy longer. Awesome. Where can folks go to find out more about you, socials, all that fun stuff?
I'm on Facebook and Instagram, mostly just Instagram, and then post to Facebook through that. That's about it these days. Not as much as I used to. I've been, like more in the be here now experience, time with my family and enjoying nature. But I'm there. I'm actually posting daily challenges for the rest of this month for Nutriforce Sports for their natural burn product, all natural fat burner. And if you don't need to really burn fat, it's great for extra energy, when you don't want that.
Heavily
cup of coffee. So awesome. I'm on there, Meganator 26. You can find me on there. Join me in some daily challenges to just move.
And it's all body weight stuff for the most part.
All body weight. Yep.
Awesome.
If you need a weight, you can usually just grab your child, your dog, a backpack, gallon of something, whatever.
Awesome.
You can use it. Yeah.
Awesome. Well, we're going to sign off. If you guys want to get in touch with Meg, again, her stuff should be somewhere below, above, next to this thing. I don't know, wherever you're watching. And if you did make it here and you got something out of it, would really appreciate if you could like, share, subscribe, leave a comment, rate, review, all that good stuff. We'll work on my pitch one of these days and get it right. But yeah, appreciate you guys being here. Hope you got 1% better from this conversation. I know I sure did. Always a pleasure chatting with Meg. And you can stay on, Meg, and we're going to end the break.